Hey guys, what's up? It's Becca, and the video I'm going to do today is my high school experience. Let me warn you now, this video is not, like, it's not going to be anything too happy or anything like that. I'm going to be honest, my high school experience sucked. Like, I am so glad I'm graduated, but, and to anyone who's not been in high school yet or is still going through it, I don't want to discourage you and say that, oh, well, high school is just going to suck for you and like all this stuff. I'm saying my experience sucked. You might have the best experience of your life. Like, it might be the best 4 years you ever have in your entire life. I don't know. But this is just what happened to me, my experience, and honestly, I am so much happier now that I graduated. I'm going to start off, freshman year. I went into it with all these expectations that it was going to be like how the movies portray it. No, high school is nothing like that, at least not the one I went to. And it just, I don't know, like my freshman year like kind of sucked because I got so consumed with like the social aspect of it and making friends and stuff like that that I didn't focus on my schoolwork at all until like the very end of the school year when my parents basically said, well, if you want to go to Warped Tour, you better get, at least, B's, basically. Um, so yeah, basically, my freshman year, I was super involved in drama class and the plays and musicals and all that. I did the whole drama thing. And, like, I kind of found out, like, who my true friends were at that time, especially when, like, we were in math class, there was a guy, I had fallen, like, head over heels for him, and basically, I was so focused on him, like, the majority of my freshman year, that I ended up not doing any work at all for my math class, and I ended up failing. It's not that I was stupid and didn't know the stuff, I just didn't do the work ever because I was so like focused on him and talking to him and like all this stuff. And actually that guy and the relationship with him actually caused me a lot of drama because there were quite a few girls who he had messed around with and didn't like me because now he was talking to me and dating me and all this drama. Which there's another thing right now, high school relationships. Honestly, wait until like your junior or senior year because in your freshman and sophomore year, that's when you're really trying to figure out, where you want to go. Like, this is what I want to do. These are the classes. Take all the fun classes then. That's what I'm saying right now. Take your fun classes, do your fun electives, and honestly, don't let relationships get in the way, because that was my problem. A lot of times with, like, in school, I was dating someone, and it like, I couldn't focus on the work, and I don't know why it was, but I was so caught up in talking friends and boyfriends and whatnot that I just didn't do my work, and now I really regret that because of where it led me. But that's later on down in this video. But yeah, so just don't let relationships get in the way because I did that a lot. I had quite a few people because of him, because of another girl that was like in love with him. She got friends to threaten me and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just all that toxic. Let's see, moving on. Oh, um, and this is another thing. I tried not to date people who went to the same school as me as much, so that I didn't have to run into that whole issue of, oh, I dated you, we broke up, and now I have to see you every single day. So okay, moving on. The end of my freshman year is at the high school, the first high school I went to, is where you can then try out to be on the cheerleading team. I tried out, I made it. Wonderful. Yay! So, the summer between freshman and sophomore year was spent cheerleading. And then my sophomore year, the majority was spent dedicated to cheerleading. The problem with that was because I was doing so much cheerleading and was so focused on friendships Um, I again didn't do my work, and that's where it really hit me because there were times when my coach would be like, you need to get your grades up, or you can't participate in games or whatnot. So yeah, there was that. And then also my sophomore year, I dated a guy who, and if you're watching this, sorry, but I'm just being honest. Um, Honestly, like it consumed so much of my time and energy that I didn't focus on anything else. Like even like with cheerleading, like he already didn't like cheerleaders, so there was that, and it was just. I mean, he supported me in my stuff, but it was just another like toxic relationship that ended really badly. There was a lot of trust issues and stuff like that. I'm not gonna get into details about that. Um, it was just a bad relationship, and honestly, a lot of my relationships have been bad relationships. So that year ended on a really bad note because it like literally like a couple days before I was supposed to end my sophomore year, like it just that's when we ended up breaking up, and we had been together for like over 6 months. But yeah, and actually going back to more the beginning of the year, there was a girl I became friends with, and this was before the guy. We got super close, and then I ended up like dating a guy that I guess she wanted to mess around with, and basically after a while, mine and her friendship fell apart because she liked the guy so much. And she turned into one of those people where it's like either you're my friend or you're my enemy. So she started talking crap and spreading rumors that I was on my 20th guy and like all this, all this stuff that wasn't true about me. And basically, it just led to people's rumors about me, like all that, you know, garbage. Wonderful. And that's another thing about high school. It doesn't matter what you do. You could be the nicest person ever to anyone, and people will still find the littlest thing, even if it's a complete lie. They're gonna spread it, and people are gonna believe it. Like people are just that stupid that they're gonna believe anything they hear about you, and they could go from being your best friend to they hate you because they hear this rumor that you're a supposed slut, or you've done this, or you're a bitch, and you've done this and that, and you're just a horrible person. People are gonna believe it. I spent the majority of my actually no, my entire high school experience from freshman to graduating, people hating me, starting rumors, like all that stuff. Okay, moving on. My junior year. Let's see. Oh wow. Um, I went into it thinking that things were gonna get better. And for a while they were. They were pretty good. I was off and on out of relationship here and there. Like honestly, like the majority of my relationships haven't lasted more than 2 weeks for whatever reason. They're always things kind of fall apart. Um, Problem with my junior year, I met a freshman, and I don't know why, being a junior, being 16 years old, I was interested in a 14-year-old. I mean, there's nothing wrong with age differences, but it was like, really, I'm a junior, he's a freshman. He's basically just come out of middle school, and I've been in high school for 2 years. Yeah, whatever. This was one of those guys who sat there and said, said all the nice things, all the perfect things that a girl wants to hear, until you find out that he does the same exact thing to every other girl he talks to. And he didn't really care whether he hurt you or not. And then he would play like he cared. But really, he turned around and would dump you so he could go make out with this chick and he could go do this chick and whatnot. Yeah. Just actually kind of funny because you don't expect that from a 14-year-old. So that relationship lasted probably, I think the first time we were only together for like a couple weeks because this was his routine. He couldn't last 2 weeks with a girl, and yeah. And then I started talking to other guys, and the one thing was being like a bunch of guys lied to me about stuff, so I was like, whatever, I'm not gonna get with you. Um, Shortly after my 17th birthday in November last year, um, or my junior year, he convinced me to date him again, like all this stuff, whatever. It fell apart again because he screwed me over for some girl I had problems with before my sophomore year, and it was just all bad. I made friends with some people who turned out to be like toxic relationships for me. Um, and I have been doing better in my classes. I know I actually focused junior year because it was kind of like my school was like, hey, with where you've been going, you're behind on credits, you need to stay on your stuff, or you're just not, we're going to have to kick you out. Because the school I was going to was kind of like they only wanted the best of the best students. It wasn't like a private school or anything like that. It was just where I live, it was one of the better, nicer schools, and they only wanted the super athletic kids and the kids who were super involved and stuff and had the good grades and all that stuff. And because my grades suffered a lot, like, it just, you know, and let's see, then, I want to say, like, the beginning, or the second semester of my junior year, I started to become friends with some people I'd been friends with a long time ago, and since she had changed schools, like, she became, like, the party animal, or, no, she came back to school, because she had been at a different school, made friends with a bunch of different people, she changed, whatnot, and she just became a different person, and it was a party animal, and I thought that she was the same person. Turns out she wasn't. And so I started partying with her a lot, because she would always, every weekend, have parties at her house. People would always be there. Everyone would be drinking, smoking, hookah, whatnot, having a good time. Until I found out that her and her two new best friends sat there and would, as soon as I would walk away, talk crap about me, start rumors. And the problem was the guys that they would tell us to, like, they'd be like, oh, she's a slut, she goes around, she talks to different guys every second, like, stupid stuff like that. And so there'd be, like, times at the parties when I'd be like, guys would, like, just randomly come up to me and start talking to me. And then one time, actually, there was one of the parties, it was an old friend of mine, and it actually really surprised me this happened. Old friend of mine, me and him were hanging out, and the girl that I had been friends with said something. She was talking crap about something. I was just like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm drunk. I'm going to sleep. So he was like, you know what? Let me go with you. Blah blah blah. So I went and lay down, and he was laying down with me, and we're talking and whatnot. He's trying to, like, kind of calm me down. And then next thing I know, the girl opens, like, the door of the room, and there were, like, 6 other people sleeping on the floor of this room. So it's not like me and him were alone in there, and it's not like we were doing anything. But she opens the door, she sees me in there with them, and automatically assumes I'm doing something. I'm completely clothed, so is he. And it made me so mad. And then I hear, like, her going down the hall, like, screaming, like, oh, she's a slut, she's this, she's that, blah, blah, blah. And I guess he went out there, and supposedly, I guess he was going to go talk to her. But next thing I find out, that, turns out he's going out there telling all these guys and stuff that he just had sex with me. And from there, like, and the saddest thing is, it turns out something else happened, and I went to a different school, and all the people who happened to be at that party went to that school. So that was a whole nother issue. But yeah, so at that point, and then, like, I found out that anytime I would leave, she would talk crap about me, and just all that stuff. And then another thing, like, and then, another thing, like, it was another party that I went to of hers. It was before I had found out all this stuff, though. I had gotten drunk, way too drunk to the point where I was blacking out, and a guy ended up, like, taking advantage of that fact. And the worst part was, like, the girl I was supposedly friends with and her new best friend, when all this stuff was going on, they opened the bathroom door where it was happening, saw what was happening, and just walked away. And it was like, and the next morning, because I was so drunk that I didn't remember until, like, they're sitting there telling me all this stuff, and made it out like it was my fault, which it wasn't. It was like, yeah, it was my fault that I got too drunk, but you don't sit there and let your supposed friend get taken advantage of like that. Like it's just not something you do. Um, and this might be getting away from the actual like high school part, but this is stuff that comes along with high school, the people you meet, stuff like that. You never know who they're gonna turn out to be. Um, and also this is another thing in this video. I'm not gonna like beat around the bush about things. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say some things that aren't like no one else would talk about. So just bear with me. Um, and then probably a week after, or actually it was like 2 days after that party, a guy an ex that I had gotten back with, heard a bunch of rumors about me, flipped out, and rumors that weren't even true. Like, it was back to that freshman guy. He made up a bunch of stuff because he was mad anytime I'd be with someone that wasn't him, so he would always start shit. And so he told the ex that I was trying to get back with and have a good relationship with, he told him a bunch of stuff that wasn't true. He flipped out on me. Um, and I'm going to say this, I do have depression. I've had depression for a very long time, and there's been certain events that have made it worse in my lifetime. And I'm also a recovering self-harmer. So basically when this happened, it was kind of just like the cherry on top of like years and years worth of crap that I put up with. Um, so I ended up with a suicide attempt. Um, and the thing that really hurt me the most about what happened was people sat there and said, oh, it was a suicide attempt, you're stupid, if you were really trying to do it, you would have gone through with it. The thing that a lot of people don't understand about it was that my ex-boyfriend actually, because I basically... Hi guys, sorry about that, I had to change my camera. Where was I though? Yeah, people sat there and said that if I was really trying to do it, that I would have gone through with it and all stuff. But what happened was, my ex-boyfriend actually called the cops on me, and the cops had to break down the bathroom door and whatnot. Yeah, and stop me. Yeah. So continuing on, I had to spend a week, or I had to be transferred. The police took me down to the station to fill out a report, and from there, crisis control picked me up. They took me down to the Loma Linda Hospital, and that's a hospital down the hill from where I live. And then from there, once I was mature that I was okay, um, I had to be transferred to the Loma Linda VMC, which is a behavioral, what is it, medicine center, I think? Mental center? It's something like that. It's basically a mental hospital. End of story. There's no beating around it, whatever. I will say this. I did get help. Um, there was lots of therapy that I went through. Um, and the one thing I will say about it was being there for a week, it was honestly the only time I have ever felt like people have been real with me. They weren't two-faced, they were honest about things, and they were genuinely nice, and they genuinely cared about, who I was and my story and whatnot. And we all sat there with cuts all over our arms and whatnot. Um, we all just didn't sit there behind clothes or who we hung out with or anything like that. We just were able to be ourselves with each other. And it was nice. It was the first time I thought that this is what it feels like to have people who aren't going to sit there and lie to you about anything. And it was nice. It was honestly the best week I've ever had was when I was there. And so yeah, after I was released from there, I went back to my high school um, the day after I was released, and people were mean to me. People sat there and gave me dirty looks and would joke about it. And one girl was all like, I heard you were in a mental hospital. And it was just like, people were mean about it. obviously I wore long sleeves that day because I didn't want anyone to see the cuts. Um, and yeah, moving on from there because I couldn't handle it. I ended up changing schools to the school that I graduated from. Um, no one knew what happened there, but the funny thing was, it was actually a lot of people from my past who had bullied me and stuff like that were there, and it was a bunch of the people from that one party that I told you about too. They were there, so it was a really hard time. Probably about a week after being there, I got with my current boyfriend. We had known each other since like 2011 though, so it's not just like, oh hey, new school, new boyfriend, blah blah blah. No, I had known him for a long time, and we were finally like, oh hey, now we go to the same school, let's get together. So we've been together since then. But yeah. And we got together in March. Yeah. People were mean to me there. It's just, people would make up the stupidest rumors about me alone, and then me and my boyfriend, and yeah, and that year was just kind of terrible. But I was on track to getting my credits and whatnot. So yeah, um, and then from there, yeah, people were mean to me, started rumors. They would take videos of me, literally, in class, take videos of me and talk crap about me in these videos, and spread more rumors on. Okay, that year ended, and my senior year started this year. It was actually really good. I came back to school with lots of friends, and, like, I was so saddened that people didn't talk about me really anymore. They still kind of here and there made crap up about me, just like the end of my junior year. They sat there and someone made a Facebook, like a burn book kind of thing, or it was an Instagram burn book thing. And there was one girl who really didn't like me because she had a thing for my boyfriend, and she told everyone that I created this Facebook, or the Instagram. And the Instagram had a picture of each person at the school and said horrible, nasty things about them. And everyone thought it was me, and everyone hated me, and it was just all bad. So this year started, and things were good, whatnot. My senior year was good, blah, blah, blah. I got my credits, and honestly, the short time that I was there for my senior year, it was really good. Um, I got my credits, I did what I needed to do, I was able to focus on my work and figure out what I want to do as far as college goes. People sat there wanting to start fights with me over stupid things, like supposedly I mad dog people, and people sat there and was like, oh, well, she just stopped giving me dirty looks, I'm gonna fight her, and like all this stuff. It was stupid, but I got my work done, and basically, I finally finished a couple weeks ago, and it was basically like this. F everybody who has ever screwed me over or done me wrong, and yeah, it was very interesting, I will say that. But yeah, um, so yeah, I'm just, high school is not what you expect it to be. People are mean and cruel. I don't know, maybe your high school experience will be different. I don't know, there's so much more I could have thrown into this, detail by detail, but really, eh. It's just like the generic how my high school years went. And here's another thing, at the school I ended up, I was a straight A student, and I had great scores on my KC, and yeah. So, that's another thing. It was a continuation school, and people badmouth continuation schools, but actually they're really, really good. You'd be surprised. But yeah, so that was my high school experience, guys. Thank you so much for watching, even though I know this video is so, so long. Thank you for bearing with me. But yeah, so that's it. Like, rate, subscribe, leave your comments below. Like, if you're ever having a hard time with something, I know, like, you may not actually know me, but I've been to hell and back, and I'm always willing to listen. So if you ever want to talk to me, message me on here. I'll give you my email. We can email back and forth. And just tell me your story. Tell me, how your experience went, or how your experience is going currently. Um, just tell you, people say, oh yeah, high school's the best thing ever. Not always. And sometimes it'll only get better once you graduate. It's hard, and it probably will be one of the hardest things you have to do your entire life, is sit there for 4 years and put up with school and people and drama and whatnot. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Okay, Bye. I hope you guys enjoyed it.